amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a fantastic review on Doctor Who Bad Wolf / Parting of the Ways, the finale to Series 1, which round about in June, it's going to be the 21st anniversary since the finale aired of Series 1. And I really want to do something good for Easter, as it is Easter Sunday, and I think reviewing a Dalek story is the best way to celebrate it, in my retrospect opinion. So I absolutely do enjoy this finale to Series 1. It's definitely my second favourite finale from the revival era of the show, because it was my number one for a very, very long time, until World of Time / The Doctor Falls came out back in 2017. So talking about this finale, it's brilliant. So this is basically the finale to the 9th Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston. And of course we do say goodbye to John Barrowman because he literally just come through half the end of Series 1. And of course, he does go in and become a regular in Torchwood before making a few more guest appearances in Series 3, Series 4, and of course, mainly in the Whittaker era as well. So, Bad Wolf and Part of the Ways, we open up with the Doctor inside the lift to the Big Brother house. And of course, in that, we do find out a bit later on that the Doctor basically got pulled by a transmat beam with Rose and Captain Jack. So they all end up on the space station known as Satellite 5. And this is basically 100 years after the events of The Long Game. So this is a fantastic way to try and continue that story going on. So the satellite station back then was basically a news station. So now it's become a game station where everybody's kind of watching a ton of different games. There's like 60 Big Brother houses in a way. And then, of course, you've got Stars on the Rise. You've got the weakest link with the Android. Not Anne. Got Android. I absolutely love the fact how the Doctor is basically lost his memory a little bit. When he goes into the actual room before the titles run, he goes, "The Doctor, please come to the dining room." And he goes, "You're on live on channel 44 1000. Please do not swear." I just like how Christina goes, "You've got to be kidding me." And then, of course, we go into the credits. So then, of course, we do see Rose in the weakest link. And then, of course, Jack is basically with two androids that basically strip him naked in the episode. But, yeah, you don't see much of that, but thank God. Yeah, thank God. But, yeah, I do quite enjoy the fact how the Doctor does get his memories back, and he basically does go and breaks the property, like the camera that they used to watch on Big Brother. I like how he does that threat as well. He says, "So, here's the update from the Big Brother house. I'm going to find my friends. I'm then coming to find you." The way Christopher Eccleston is just absolutely magnificent when he does that. It's just absolutely brilliant all the way through. So when the Doctor does escape from Big Brother house, after he kind of sees one of the other contestants basically get transmitted aboard to the Dalek mothership, as we do find out a little bit later on. I also love the fact how the Doctor and Linda does basically escape, and the Doctor goes, "Hang on a minute, I've been here before. This is Satellite 5. I like how the Doctor just basically clicks, "This is Satellite 5, and then, of course, he finds out that the events from what's going on here, he's basically the cause of it from 100 years ago. Time travel is very different in Doctor Who-wise. And then, of course, basically, when you get to the end part, I love the bit where the Doctor does try to rescue Rose, and of course it does looks like she gets disintegrated, where she's there telling him to be careful of the android. And of course the Doctor does get captured with Captain Jack and Linda Moss, until basically they do escape and they go into the floor 500. And of course they go to the control room, and that's when the Doctor comes face to face with the communication of the Daleks. I like when he literally encounters the Daleks, where you have that fantastic shot of over 200 Dalek ships with more than 500,000 on board. I like when the Doctor is there talking to the Daleks after the Daleks basically found out Rose is still alive. After you had that good moment between Rose and the Doctor and Jack, celebrating Rose is basically alive still. I like how basically the Doctor makes that threat to the Daleks, where the Daleks there talking to him go, "We have your associate. You will obey or she will be exterminated." I just like how Eccleston goes, No, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to rescue her. I'm going to save Rose Tyler from the middle of the Dalek fleet. And then I'm going to save the Earth. And then, just to finish her off, I'm going to wipe every last stinking Dalek out of the sky. And I like how basically the Daleks there saying, "You have no weapons, no defences, no plan." Yeah, and doesn't that scare you to death? And then, of course, you do have the to be continued. And then, of course, you go into the next episode, which is, of course, parting of the ways. So I like how the Doctor is in the TARDIS with Captain Jack with the excavator that they got from Margaret Blaine, the Savine, in the previous episode, well, 2 previous episodes. But I do like the fact how they use there. And then, of course, when the Doctor does materialise, the Jack is in the TARDIS out with Rose as he materialises, and a Dalek is next to Rose, so Jack does destroy a Dalek. And when Jack's there talking about they went off to find a bigger war, a time war. What I was there, the war between the Daleks and the Time Lords. And he was like saying, my own people died, and I thought they took the Daleks with them. Turns out they died for nothing. And then, of course, you have that fantastic moment when the Doctor does open the doors and the Daleks is there trying to exterminate him. And basically because of the force field. And he goes, do you know what they used to call me in the ancient world of the homeworld of the Daleks? The oncoming storm. I like how he asks him, so tell me, how did you survive the Time War? And then you have that big booming voice going, they survived through me. And the Doctor encounters the Dalek Emperor since 1967. I like how the Doctor goes, Rose, Captain, this is the Emperor of the Daleks. I love how the Emperor Daleks is literally going, you destroyed us, Doctor. The Dalek race died in your inferno, but my ship survived, falling through time, crippled but alive. I like how you have that fantastic communication between the Emperor Dalek and the Doctor, where the Doctor's there working out what's going on because, the Daleks are back. And of course he does escape, basically unwilling from the Dalek Emperor, because the Dalek Emperor goes, you will not leave my presence. And of course the Doctor does go back to Saturn 5, and he does try to turn him, that's where the fight goes to. During that battle, he does send Rose back to live with her parents, because basically he got her mother Jackie and a boyfriend, Mickey. So I do like the fact how the Doctor does save Rose's life and sends her back in time, but basically she gets control of the TARDIS by opening up the time vortex, and it runs through her head, and basically she goes back to Satellite 5 to try and rescue the Doctor, because the Doctor is going to die. Because the Doctor knows he's going to die, because you have that fantastic holographic message where it goes, this is Emergency Program 1. It means I'm fighting an enemy that should never get their hands on this machine. I just love how the Doctor is just like bang on with Christopher Eccleston, because I really enjoy Christopher Eccleston's performance, and it's just absolutely brilliant. I like how you basically have the Doctor about to use the Delta Wave after he's built it through half this episode, and he's there about to destroy the Daleks, and the Daleks ask him, are you coward or killer? And the Doctor goes, coward any day. Because, of course, this is the Doctor after the Time War. So when the TARDIS does materialise, he's in a little bit of disbelief until, the fantastic doors open. You've got the big goldish light of the time vortex, and Rose steps out from the TARDIS. And, of course, she's been affected by the time vortex. And I like how the Daleks are there trying to exterminate. She catches it with the palm of her hands, and then she flicks it back. In a way, I do quite enjoy that, again, which is absolutely fantastic in a way, which is what I love about the episode. But then, of course, when you get to basically after Rose destroys the Daleks and turns the Dalek Emperor into a pile of dust and destroys the Dalek ship, because the time vortex is killing her. So the only way for this to try and stop it from happening, the Doctor has to give Rose a little bit of a kiss. So this is the first time in modern Who the Doctor has to kiss a companion, and then it starts off the whole lovey-dovey stuff. I'm not a fan of lovey-dovey stuff. But in this point, the Doctor's just there trying to save Rose, where the lovey-dovey stuff happens a lot in the next series, and it's just like, ugh, like that. So the Doctor does absorb the time vortex from Rose, trying to save her life, and of course it does lead him into regenerating into his next incarnation, played by David Tennant. So that is basically Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways, and it is a good finale. Don't get me wrong, it is my second favourite finale from Modern Doctor Who, because Doctor Who from the Revival era has had a lot of hit and misses for the end of the series, because you've got, if I can tell you my 5 favourites from the base of the Revival, you've got basic One Other Time When the Doctor Falls, Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways, probably The Stone Earth and Journey's End, because it's like Avengers Endgame but Doctor Who style with Torture and Sarah Jane Adventures. And I really don't have any others after that. So there's literally 3 good finales, where the finales are like, yeah. You got some good ones, you get some really bad ones, but I do quite enjoy the finale. And David Tennant, it's really good as the Ninth Doctor, because I do quite enjoy him when he after the regeneration, he goes, hello, okay, new tooth, that's weird. So where was I? Oh, that's right, Barcelona. So yeah, I did enjoy visiting this story the other day. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this fantastic finale to the first ever series of Doctor Who. Do you think it is absolutely fantastic? To me, it still stands out to this day. 21 years later, it still stands out to me quite often because I love revisiting this story every year. I don't really watch Modern Who that often. It's just I have to be in a different mood, try and come back and revisit previous episodes from the revival era. I'm more of a classic Doctor Who fan than a modern Doctor Who fan. But yeah, anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think of Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, share, and join for awesome Doctor Who content.